So what I do now is I load my project file. I link that into this landscape file, and I do that because it's actually a lot nicer to have them divided between them. In terms of editing, moving things around, that just makes it a little bit easier. So we'll try that, and we'll work in that way with this project. So I go into Site, like I did before, go into Insert, and I say Link Revit File. I locate the project I'm working with. So for me right now, that would be my, there we go. I will use my Common House tutorial and say, just a minute, select here, go down here to positioning, and like before, I will use center to center here, which is almost exclusively when I work with landscape like this, I'm using this function. So center to center and open. You see it's just thinking a bit, and then you can't see anything else. Go to wireframe, see placed my house here. And then I'll of course need to move that house up here somewhere. And if we look at an elevation, you can't see the house, but it's in here somewhere. And again, if I go to wireframe, you can see it's located here. So as a starting point, I will just take it and drag it up to something like this. And I'm just taking it up and dragging it up really quickly, and I always do that in elevation. Never do that in 3D because you have no idea where you're moving things. Then I can turn off my wireframe, so now I have hidden line again, and I can do the same in Site. Go up here, say hidden line. Then I'll take my house, move it over here, and then we have to place it. So, for example, I want to rotate it. So let's say the wrong facade, the northern facade here, is aligned with this line and placed, for example, 2.5 meters in on the side. And this corner of the house I want to be placed, say, a minimum 4 meters from the corner up here. That would be the next step. In order to do that, I actually need my plan drawing from before. So I'll just say wireframe. I'll go into manage links, CAD format, and it's important that we work with the CAD format here. Mark again the file we had, say reload. Okay, and now I can actually see the map I had before. I go into modify, I say align, select the line I want to align to, that means this one up here, and the line I want to align to that line. That's a lot of lines. Take that one, we see they're now aligned. Then I can take my house and move that in a given direction. We see it stays parallel here. So next step is to actually put in the right dimensions. I take an aligned dimension, select my boundary line here, zoom in, and just turn the thin lines on, and select here, thin lines, take the outside here, because that is the exterior side of the exterior wall. That one in. Up here, I have to select the corner, so I use my tab key until I get that dot. Again, down here, and I place that one there. Then I can select my house and move it in place. So let's say 2500 millimeters. Let's say here 4000 maybe. Now my house is placed, at least in plain view. Then I will just go into manage and turn off my link again. Again, CAD formats, select the file here and say unload. There we go. Hidden line. There we go. Then a small detail. I don't want to see the doors here, so I press tab once. And then I say hide in view category. So all doors is now invisible in this project. That was the horizontal placement. The next one is a bit more tricky. That will be the vertical placement. Because if you look in 3D, well, this one is actually placed fairly okay. So you can see there's a good slope on the ground here. So we will need to make some adjustments. But first step is to figure out how high the plot up here actually is. If I go to site, I can see here I have my contour marks. So it's somewhere between 35 meters and 35.75 meters. If I want to be more accurate, what I do is I go to annotate, up here, take my spot elevation here, and I can just hover around the corners. Note I do not go in and pick the roof here, because that is actually the roof height I get. See, there's a 2 meter, 3 meter difference from this one to this one. That's because it's now the height of the roof, not the landscape. So I actually try to look at the corner, 35, 35.5, probably around 35.5 as well. And up here we are on 35.75. So on a landscape like this, it's a bit more tricky. But let's say I want to place it based on the highest corner. Then I would say, just check again here. 35.75. And then afterwards, I'll start to work with the landscape and make that work. So what I do is now I go into one of my elevations. I take one of the leftovers here. Let's take this one. Call it top foundation. Like this. Okay. And I will actually just with these, so they're not confusing, I'll just delete the leftovers. And then the elevation here, I will write this, that will be the top, and then I'll just add 150 millimeters to get the height of the foundation. So the foundation is about 150 millimeters above ground level. So that will make something like this. Then I want to link that height with this house. So next time, and if I need to change the height, I can just do it here and the house will follow. So what I do is I say align, zoom in to this level, press that once, zoom out, and take the ground floor terrain, align, and then I'll lock them together. So now it has the height, at least according to that level I want. Now this is a specific case. We always have to evaluate how we do it and where to place the house in this case. So now we are fixed here and we say the house is placed where we want it. Then I mark up the house, press pin, and then my house is locked. Now I can't move it by accident or on purpose, then I have to unlock it. So now we are quite sure that it is where I want it to be. So next step will now be to actually make some adjustments to this small piece of land.